people. Did you think that was me? Gotcha! So I don't know if you've heard me mentioning it before, maybe once or twice, 357 times. I live in Korea. And not only do I live in Korea, but I currently live on an island in Korea called Jindo. And well, let's just say that living on an island in Korea is just a little bit different to living on mainland Korea. Is it mainland or mainland? Did I mention I'm an English teacher? Yeah, so it's a little bit different living on an island compared to living on mainland Korea. And I would know, since I've lived on mainland Korea for 1 + 1, carry the 1, 4 years. But in my 5th year of living in Korea, I decided to say goodbye to mainland Korea and hello to island Korea. And you know, people always ask me, Sam, why did you choose to live on an island? No. I didn't choose the island life. The island life chose me. So yes, I didn't exactly choose to live on Jindo, but I'm here now and I've already been living on this island for about 8 months. And well, since I've experienced both worlds, mainland Korea and island Korea, it can only mean one thing. I'm now ready to draw up the pros and cons of living on an island in Korea. And now you're probably like, well, Sam, your intro's been going on for about 157 years. Can you just start with the bloody video? Alright, jeez. Let's go. The first pro about living on an island, it's chilled, laid back. And trust me, I would know. Back in South Africa, I live on a farm. What, Sam? You live on a farm? Yeah, I live on a farm. It's mind-blowing, I know. And I would know the best thing about living on a farm is that it's chilled and laid back. And that's the same with Jindo. But that brings me to the first con. And that is, sometimes it's, you know, too chilled. Way too chilled. And trust me, I would know. I live on a farm. And you know, that peace and quiet is lovely for the first few hours. I may be a farm girl, but honestly, I think in my heart, I'm a city girl. But I get bored very quickly. Back at home, if my dad's like, I'm going into town, does anyone want to come? I'm like, pick me. Pick me. In fact, he hasn't even finished that question and I'm already in the passenger seat. And that's because, you know, as much as you love the peace and quiet, sometimes you've got to escape it. Otherwise, you're going to go crazy. There's kind of, like, you know, nothing to do on the island. Let's not lie. There's no shopping to do. There are no fancy restaurants. Let's just say that we're kind of limited with, you know, activities. So pretty much almost every weekend I'm maybe escaping is the wrong term, but I'm kind of escaping every weekend to the nearest city to do my shopping. You could look at it as, maybe it's kind of nice that I get to live in the peace and quiet, and then I get to escape every weekend, go do all my shopping, and come back to my peace and quiet on the island. Yeah, the next pro, and this one is very specific to my island because it's still pretty close to mainland Korea. It is still, and this makes me so happy, guys, it is still connected to mainland Korea by a bridge. I don't know who to thank for that, but thanks. I'm still connected to mainland Korea by a bridge. Do you know what that means? Let me tell you what that means. That means I never, ever have to take a ferry in my life. I get very homesick. Wait, did I just say homesick? I meant seasick. I get very seasick. and ferries and we just don't agree. But it's okay because I never have to take a ferry. It's very confusing for people because I'm always talking about how I'm going to take a bus to Seoul and they're just like, come again? Did you say bus? What kind of island is that, Sam? I know. It's mind-blowing, but I love the fact that I can still take a direct, guys, a direct, I don't even have to get off the bus. It is a direct bus from my island to Seoul. There are some people out there who live on more remote islands than I do. The ferry is their life. I'm so grateful I don't have to do that. Hashtag blessed. But this brings me to the next con. Well, traveling out of this island is a bit of a mission. It takes very long to get wherever. Yes, fine, the bus to Seoul is direct, great, but you know, it's 5 hours. It's hard. And the bus to Busan, that's even longer. It's like 6 or 7 hours, I think. Because it's such a long bus ride, I don't go to Seoul or Busan that often. It's tiring. It's just daunting, you know, knowing that that bus ride to Seoul is 5 hours long, knowing that the bus ride to Busan is like 6-7 hours long. And sometimes it's so tiring and so long, I'm just like, I'll just stay on the island. There's obviously no KTX. If you're not from Korea and you're watching this video, the KTX is the bullet train. It's the most amazing. I miss the KTX so much. It was just life-changing. It blew my third world brain away, the KTX. And well, I don't have that anymore. So I really appreciate the KTX. So if you are living on mainland Korea and you've got the KTX in your city, you better appreciate that KTX, bruh. The next con, while we're talking about buses and traveling, you know how on mainland Korea, the intervals between the local buses, they're like 10 minutes, 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes. On island Korea, it's a little different. The bus intervals, it's not 10, 15, 20 minutes. Oh no. It's an hour, sometimes 2 hours. So if you miss a bus, well, damn, sucks to be you. And of course, this has happened to me, where I've missed the bus. Because, you know how on mainland Korea, where there's a very strict bus schedule, and the buses are very punctual. So if a bus on mainland Korea is like a minute late, I'm like, wait, something's wrong. On the island, I guess this is related to the fact that it's an island and it's super chill. The bus schedule is not as fixed. So there are bus times, but whether the bus driver keeps to that time, you know, it's not always the case. So sometimes the bus will be like 3-5 minutes early, sometimes it will be 3-5 minutes late, sometimes 7, sometimes 10. I'm just saying. And because of this instability in the bus schedule, sometimes I'll miss the bus. And when that happens, I have to take a taxi. And well, you know, this is another con. Islands can be a little expensive. Go figure, it's an island. One example is taxis. I learned this the hard way. I missed the bus. I was like, okay, let me take a taxi. Got into the taxi and I was like, hang on. Mr. Taxi driver, I think your meter is broken. You might want to fix your meter. Because the taxi meter seems to be starting at 3,500 won. Now, if you don't know, on mainland Korea, the taxi meter starts at 2,800 won. So when I'm seeing 3,500 won and the taxi hasn't even moved yet, I won't lie, I was a little surprised. And I know what you're saying. Well, Sam, it's only like 701 difference. What are you complaining about? Let me tell you something. When it comes to money, I become very Indian. I feel like I haven't done pros in a long time. Another pro. South Africa, take note. You and your 3G, 0G buffering nonsense. Psh, I am on an island and I still have 5G internet. The fact that I can still make a 15-minute YouTube video and still upload it in like 9 minutes on this island. Like, that reason alone. I love you, Korea. Another con, and I think it's the last con shame. Bugs. And I'm just gonna say, firstly, there are bugs everywhere. Whether it's island Korea, mainland Korea, South Africa, South Korea, it doesn't matter. There are gonna be bugs everywhere. But I won't lie, guys. I won't lie. I feel like I have encountered a few more critters here than I did on mainland Korea. There are these things, house centipedes. If you know me really well, you'll know that bugs are just my biggest but these ones are not so scary because all they do is run. So I can outrun them, so it's okay. But they just look so scary. Like, why must you look so scary? Like, is it necessary, really? Is it necessary to have so many legs? I have 2 legs and I still get from A to B just fine. If you didn't look like that, maybe we could be friends. But you do look like that, so we can't be friends. This one, I've encountered on mainland Korea, definitely. But definitely, I've encountered it more here. They just like pop up in the weirdest places. And like once it was in my toothbrush holder and I'm like, bruh, I know my toothbrush kind of looks like you and you probably thought that this is your family. But seriously, must you wake me up like that in the morning? Spiders, of course, but I feel like here I've encountered more spiders and I feel like slightly bigger spiders. My co-teacher always tells me this, like, Sam, I know it's a spider, but it's not harmful, so you don't need to be scared. It's a spider. End of story, okay? The one critter I encountered in my apartment, and I never encountered it on mainland Korea, was this weird centipede thing. It's apparently called a Japanese centipede. Now, I'm not too sure if this was the same one in my apartment, but it looked an awful lot like this Japanese centipede. And apparently these things are really harmful. Like, apparently you can die. I encountered this thing in my apartment. After I screamed, I took my biggest boot and I crushed the ish out of that bug. Well, I thought I crushed it. Because you know what it did 5 minutes later? It uncrushed itself and started walking again. And that's when I realized, oh no, there's something different about this one. Touch wood, I haven't seen another one of those, and hopefully it stays like that. Let us end with a pro. And this pro will trump... I can't even say that word anymore. What's a synonym for trump? This pro trumps... I can't think of synonyms. Like, those cons that I mentioned, they don't even matter anymore because of this pro. And that is my schools on this island. I've worked at many schools, and let me say, hands down, the island schools, they are just the most amazing schools I've ever worked at. And maybe I'm just lucky. Maybe it's just me. I don't know about the other foreign teachers on this island. I teach at 2 middle schools on this island, and at both schools the students are the same. They're like actual angels. They're so innocent and they're so polite. I cannot, it blows my mind. I'm not saying that all city kids are crazy and wild. No, no, no. I've taught on mainland Korea for 4 years and most of my students were lovely, wonderful kids. I'm just saying that there is definitely something different about the island kids. It just makes teaching the most wonderful experience for me. And that reason alone trumps all the cons. Well, there you go, people. Those are just some of my pros and cons of living on an island in Korea. Now, if you are Korean and you are watching this, don't be offended. Jindo has pros and it also has some cons. Like South Africa, we have pros and, well, we have cons. Yes. And that's just how life goes, isn't it? I'm actually really glad that I got placed here because now it means that I've experienced it. It was a new challenge for me, a new adventure. And now I can say that I've experienced mainland Korea and island Korea. And yeah, Jindo might not be as convenient as mainland Korea, but the cons of this island are still not enough to drive me away. Korea is still, you know, amazing. Korea changed my life, man. Yeah. Anyway. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like. Don't forget to follow me on all the social medias and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I mean, I'm not forcing you. I'm just saying you must. And I will see you next week with a new video.